My name is Ethan. I'm 35 years old, and for the past 2 years, I've called a prison cell my home. They took away my freedom, my career, my entire life. But the most painful memory isn't the cold steel bars or the silence of my cell. It's the memory of my father. The man who was supposed to protect me. He smiled. He smiled as the judge sentenced me to life in prison. If you're watching this, drop a comment below and let me know where you're from. And if you have ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, please like and subscribe. You won't want to miss what happens next. My father, Mr. Douglas, was a man of steel. He was a successful businessman who built an empire from nothing, but he had a cold heart. He believed in one thing: hard work. He had 2 sons. My younger brother, Owen, was his favorite. Owen was the perfect son. He went to a good school, got a good job, and followed my father's every instruction. I, on the other hand, was different. I was always working on an idea. I was an entrepreneur. My father saw my dreams as a hobby. My brother and I, however, had always been close. We started a new business together, a new kind of software company. We worked day and night, fueled by a shared dream. We were a team, and we were good. Our business grew, and we were making a lot of money. My father was proud, but his pride was reserved for Owen. He would always say, "Owen is the smart one. He's the one with the ideas. Ethan is just the one who works hard." I was so happy for my brother's success that I didn't see the signs. I didn't see that my father's approval was not for me. I didn't see that his love was for Owen, and not for me. I was wrong. One day, I was at work, and the police showed up. I was arrested for a crime I didn't commit. The police told me that I had stolen a large amount of money from the company, and that there was evidence. The evidence was all there: a paper trail with my signature on it, bank statements, and a video of me taking the money. It was a perfect setup. The trial was a blur. The evidence was against me. I tried to tell them that I was innocent, that I had been framed, but no one believed me. My father and my brother were in the courtroom, and they were silent. They didn't say a word. Just as the judge was about to sentence me, I looked at my father. He smiled. His smile was cold and brutal. A smile that said, "You're a failure. You're a nobody. You deserve this." My world fell apart. The judge sentenced me to life in prison, and I was taken away. I had lost my business, my family, and my freedom. I was a broken man. But in that moment, I knew that I had to fight back. I had to prove my innocence. I had to get my revenge. The cold steel bars of my prison cell were a constant reminder of my father's smile. He had put me here. He had betrayed me. But he had no idea that his smile was about to become my motivation. I was in prison, but I wasn't just an inmate. I was a man with a plan. My father had a cold heart, but he had a hot temper. He would often get angry, and he would often say things he didn't mean. One day, he told me that his most important deal was not in a safe, but in a folder in his office. He said it was a file that would change everything. I was in complete shock. I couldn't believe it. I had been in prison for a year, and I had never heard of a file. I called my lawyer, a man who had helped me with my company. He was a friend of mine, and he believed me. I told him about the file, and he was shocked. He went to my father's office and found the file. It was a file that had a video of my father and my brother talking about how they had framed me. They were laughing. They were talking about how they were going to get away with it. The video was a minute long, and it was the only proof I needed. My father had a terrible secret. A secret that he had kept from me for years. A secret that would not only change my life but would also change his. The plan was simple. I had to get the video to the judge. I had to get my revenge. But I couldn't do it alone. I had to get a friend, a person who would help me. I called my brother. Owen, I said, I have a video. A video that will change your life. I have a video of my father talking about how he framed me. He framed me for the crime, and he is a monster. He is not a man who can be trusted. My brother was in complete shock. What are you talking about, Ethan? He said. Are you out of your mind? I'm not, I said. I'm telling you the truth. He framed me. He put me in jail for life. He is a monster. My brother didn't believe me. He thought I was crazy. But I knew the truth. I knew that my brother was also a victim. He had been a puppet of my father. I was ready. My revenge was ready. What will happen when I get the video to the judge? And how will my family react when they find out the truth? The courtroom was quiet. My father was sitting across from me, his face pale with fear. He had said, "Leave, you don't belong here." But now, we were both here. He had no idea that his words were about to become a painful memory. And he had no idea that I had a secret that would change his life forever. This is the story of how a single lawsuit changed everything. The court case was a blur. I had spent months gathering evidence, talking to lawyers, and building my case. I had a clear goal in mind. I wanted to get justice for my mother. My father had cheated her out of her inheritance, and I was going to make sure that he paid for it. The trial began, and I presented my evidence. I showed the judge the legal documents, the bank records, and the emails that proved my father had cheated my mother out of her money. He had sold her inheritance and used the money to start his own business. I had a clear case, and my father's lies were falling apart. My father was in complete shock. He couldn't believe it. He was a proud man, a man who had built his own empire. But now, his empire was crumbling. He was being exposed as a liar, a thief, and a cheat. The people who had looked up to him, who had worked for him, were now looking at him with disgust. The judge made his decision. My father was forced to give my mother her inheritance, and he was also forced to pay for her legal fees. He had lost his business, his money, and his reputation. He had lost everything because of his own greed. I had won. But my revenge was not about money. It was about justice. I had gotten justice for my mother. I had gotten justice for myself. I had shown my father that his words, "You don't belong here," were just a lie. I left the courtroom and never looked back. I had my revenge, and it was a sweet, satisfying revenge. I had proven him wrong, not just with my success, but with my integrity. I had shown him that my worth wasn't in his approval. It was in my own self-respect. I had found my vindication, not just in my business, but in my life. I had learned that my family wasn't about blood, it was about who was there for me when I needed them the most. And in the end, that was me. So, that's my story. It's a reminder that true wealth is not in your bank account, it's in your character. And sometimes, the best revenge is to walk away from the people who failed to see your true worth. Have you ever had to choose between your blood family and your chosen family? What did you learn? Share your stories in the comments below. And if this story resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to hear more real-life lessons. Thank you for listening.